Hi everyone, and good day to all of you, and welcome to my second uh, half, or rather, the third episode in my vlog for today. In this vlog, we will discuss about nuisance, or what we call as noise pollution. This is one of the problems relating to real estate, especially in residential areas here in the Philippines. Have you ever heard by your neighbors doing karaoke or everything? Well, that considers a nuisance. Without further ado, here now is the topic: noise pollution or nuisance. It has been said that noise is the most impertinent of all forms of interruption. Worse, when noise disturbance rises to the level of noise pollution, it becomes just like any other type of pollution, such as air or water pollution. It can lead to infections, stress, and other illnesses. In fact, according to a report released by the World Health Organization some years ago, environmental noise is among the top environment risks to health. According to the Civil Code of the Philippines, Article 694, nuisance is any act, omission, establishment, business, condition of property, or anything else which injures or endangers the health or safety of others, annoys or offends the senses, shocks, defies, or disregards decency or morality, obstruct or interferes with the free passage of any public highway or street or any body of water, or hinders or impairs the use of property. In layman's term, nuisance can also affect the people, especially in residential areas, in any real estate properties like condominiums, subdivision, apartments, homes, and other types of real properties as well. Let's compare the two: nuisance per se and nuisance per accidents. Nuisance per se means that which affects the immediate safety of persons and property and may be summarily abated under the undefined law of necessity. In the case of nuisance per accidents, that which depends upon certain conditions and circumstances, and its existence being a question of fact, it cannot be abated without due hearing thereon in a tribunal authorized to decide whether such a thing does in law constitute a nuisance. According to the several provisions in the Civil Code, in Article 19, every person must, in the exercise of his rights and in the performance of his duties, act with justice, give everyone his due, and observe honesty and good faith. Under Article 26, every person shall respect the dignity, personality, privacy, and peace of mind of his neighbors and other persons. Likewise, under Article 682 of the Civil Code, every building or piece of land is subject to the easement which prohibits the proprietor or possessor from committing nuisance through noise, jarring, offensive odor, smoke, heat, dust, water, glare, and other causes. Meaning, according to these articles, this is done in order for us to make sure that we should be free from nuisance, especially in residential areas. According to Article 704, any private person may abate a public nuisance which is specifically injurious to him by removing, or if necessary, by destroying the thing which constitutes the same, without committing a breach of the peace or doing unnecessary injury. But it is necessary Let demand be first made upon the owner or possessor of the property to abate the nuisance. That such demand has been rejected, that the abatement be approved by the district health officer and executed with the assistance of the local police, and that the value of the destruction does not exceed 3,000 pesos. Article 705 states that the remedies against a private nuisance are civil action or abatement without judicial proceedings. So what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic era in terms of nuisance? So first, the Department of Interior and Local Government urges local government units led by the mayors and the governors of provinces to enact ordinances prohibiting video okay, distracting noises during online class schedules. The DILG urged LGUs to enact ordinances prohibiting video okay and other loud, distracting noises during the online class schedules, as millions of students adjust to the online learning system as a measure against the COVID-19 pandemic. Then Secretary of DILG Eduardo Año says that loud sounds during online class hours and independent study periods can distract students from concentrating on their online classes, schoolwork, and other activities, that every home in the country has been turned into an extension of the school. That happened from 2020 until 2022 actually. So this is done in support of the directive of the former PNP Chief Police General Camilo Cascolan to the unit commanders and chiefs of police to coordinate with their local government units to either enact or modify the existing local ordinances against the use of video okay and other activities that can create unnecessary noise that would disturb the students in their study at home. He emphasized that it's already hard enough for students to adjust to the distance learning setup without being distracted by the noise coming from the neighborhood. At the time, ladies and gentlemen, during the COVID pandemic, face-to-face classes was not allowed until the go signal is made by the government. He likewise urged vehicle owners to avoid unnecessary blowing of their car horns during online school hours, as this would distract the learners. As shown in this slide, these pictures here show that there are the issuance of karaoke bans during the distance learning period of the COVID-19 pandemic. The local government units were urged to enforce laws against loud noises during daytime, stop the use of videoke, stop the use of muffler sounds, animal sounds from chicken and dogs up to quarreling couples, to avoid the disruption of students' online classes. According to then Undersecretary Martin Lino of the DILG, at the time, cities without regulations on unnecessary noise amid distance learning methods can pass ordinances like other LGUs have done so. Ang dahilan kung bakit ipinagbabawal ito pansamantala yung karaoke noong kasagsagan ng pandemya, hindi lang ipinagbabawal kundi lilimitahan. May ilang local government units na ipinapatupad ng karaoke ban mula 7 a.m. hanggang 5 p.m. Ito ay ginagawa para hindi maabala ang mga estudyante na nasa online classes. As the COVID-19 pandemic rages from 2020 until 2022, schools were forced to switch to distance learning mode. Students would not need to physically attend classes to avoid transmissions. A lot of students complain about the lack of adequate gadgets and unstable internet connections. And parents noted that it's become hard for students to focus on their studies, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic where all schools shifted to online classes because of distractions like noise, which led to the LGUs to issue ordinances against daytime noise. After the COVID-19 pandemic, due to the declining number of COVID cases, increasing vaccination coverage, and the lifting of COVID restrictions at the time, the Department of Education and the Commission on Higher Education eyed for the full resumption of face-to-face classes by November of 2022 and gradually in 2023, thereby causing learners to be more engaged with their homework, researches, and other school activities. And despite the return of face-to-face classes from the fully online setup, some LGUs decided to still modify the karaoke bans. They had decided to leave the pandemic era back to the normal, which is the 10 p.m. karaoke ban. There is no national law specifically addressing karaoke noise disturbance. In 2015, House Bill 1035 regulates the use of karaoke systems within residential area. It was not passed into law. Nevertheless, the bill presents some proposed norms. Karaoke from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. only. If the sound can be heard 50 feet from its source, violations merit a fine of 1,000 pesos or 6 months imprisonment. The continuing karaoke pandemic has spawned organizations such as the ANCOP, or the Anti-Noise Crusaders of the Philippines, who describes themselves as a group of simple people who are victims of noise disturbance from different cities who are now fighting for their rights. It has been said that noise is the most impertinent of all forms of interruption. Worst, when noise disturbance rises to the level of noise pollution, it becomes just like any other type of pollution. It can lead to sicknesses, stress, and environmental noise is among the top environmental risks to the health and welfare of everybody. And that's why every person needs to give respect, the dignity, and the honor to the persons, especially those people who are sleeping in the wee hours in the morning, essentially wee hours in the night. As I close, according to former Secretary Eduardo Año, he said, bilang mga disiplinado at responsibleng mga magulang at mamamayan, tulungan natin ang ating mga estudyante na mabigyan ng tahimik at payapa na kapaligiran para sila ay makapag-aral ng mabuti sa kanilang mga tahanan. According to former President Rodrigo Duterte, noise is a pollutant. It destroys the hearing of the people. It disturbs the public peace. It's unlawful, and by law, I am allowed to abate that nuisance. Let the people sleep. Especially the students who have to sleep early, and so that they can wake up early for school. And as well as for everybody, especially those people coming home late from work to sleep, as well as the people who are older to you, the elderly, they also need rest also. Okay? And that concludes our vlog. Thank you very much.